Hey, my name's Kay, and today I'm going to talk to you about how our habits can harm us, others, and the planet. Specifically, I'm going to be talking to you about beef. Now, I envy this cow. She's just started her life journey, and for the next 12 to 16 months, she's just going to spend her time eating, and eating. Sort of like a wrestler, she needs to eat in order to bulk up her weight. However, this can cause problems for our planet. As discussed in our handy APES textbook, overgrazing can severely damage rangelands or unfenced grasslands that animals like these cows get their food from. It happens when ranchers don't manage their land properly and allow too many cows to graze in one area for too long. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, as much as 20% of the world's rangeland has lost productivity due to overgrazing. Now, this all is assuming that these cows are being raised by a rancher who uses rangeland, but what if he chose to raise them on a feedlot instead? Our handy-dandy APES textbook tells us that there are quite a few benefits to feedlots. It increases food supplies and profits while lowering prices. It also reduces overgrazing. However, these price drops are technically a lie. If we utilized full cost pricing, which is the inclusion of environmental harms in market prices, the cost of beef would be much higher. You see, not only is land degraded by the beef industry, but water is wasted and air is polluted by greenhouse gases. It takes huge amounts of water to grow the food that cows eat in feedlots, as well as to wash away their waste. John Robbins, author of The Food Revolution, says that you'd save more water by not eating a pound of beef than if you stopped showering for an entire year. And what does all of this food and water generate? In addition to a delicious steak, it also produces a whole lot of methane. In a 2006 study, the FAO found that methane is about 25 times stronger as a greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. This means that methane has a much larger impact than CO2. According to that same study, livestock production contributes to about 18% of the world's greenhouse gases, which is more than what's emitted by all of the world's cars, trucks, buses, and planes combined. Whew, okay, that was a lot. Let's take a look at a model that summarizes these ideas. My model is a diorama that shows cows on a rangeland. Included on it are facts about how the beef industry wastes water, pollutes the atmosphere, and damages human health. My model also explains how the beef industry connects to our textbook's principles of sustainability. Number 1, full cost pricing for beef products would include the price of the amount of money it would take to remove the methane produced by the cow from the atmosphere, as well as the amount of money it would take to treat the amount of water used by the cow. Number 2, win-win solutions. Instead of stopping all consumption of beef, consumers can help protect the environment by consuming less beef and only buying their meat from sources that use more sustainable practices. We can also ensure that those eating less beef don't lose anything by improving the availability of vegetarian and vegan options, as well as the ease of cooking inexpensive, good-tasting vegetarian/vegan meals. Number 3, a responsibility to future generations. Unless we slow down our unsustainable agriculture industry, future generations will be left with a planet that has little drinking water and intense global climate change. It is our responsibility to ensure that that doesn't happen. Now, all of this got me thinking. I've been a vegetarian for the past 6 years, but what if I wasn't? Just how big would my footprint be over these 6 years if I was eating beef? Well, for that answer, we're going to have to do some math. Let's get to it. Now, before we start our math, let's start with our knowns. After that, let's figure out what units we want our answers to be in. Now, this next part moves pretty fast, but let me break it down for you. Basically, we know that the average American eats 3 burgers in 1 week, and that 0.25 pounds of beef goes into 1 burger. We can then multiply that times whatever known we want to find, 52.8 gallons of water, etc. And we know that that goes into 0.25 pounds of beef. We can then multiply that times 52 weeks for 1 year, make sure our units cancel, and boom, answer. We then multiply all of the answers by 6 years to find our total answer. Now, if all of those environmental harms weren't enough to convince you, let's talk about the harm to you. Not only is beef bad for your heart and kidneys, but according to the Journal of the American Medical Association, it also increases your risk of type 2 diabetes. Harvard has found that consuming beef is linked to colon cancer, and UCLA has found that beef increases your risk of Alzheimer's. So, what can we do to protect ourselves and others? Well, eat less beef. Eating a vegan diet greatly reduces your impact on Earth, but being vegetarian helps quite a bit as well. While vegetarians still consume products that come from cows, because beef cows are specifically bulked up for their meat, they end up using a lot more resources than a dairy cow. But if you can't commit to such a strict diet, fear not. Just simply limiting the amount of beef you eat can go a long way. Try to challenge yourself. Maybe instead of eating a hamburger every week, try eating one every other week. In the end, our planet and everyone and everything living on it will thank you.